All right, hello and welcome. If you're cramming for an exam on generative AI, you've landed in the perfect spot. We're about to cut through all the noise and give you the absolute must-know fundamentals. So let's get right into it.
So what's the stuff that's really going to make or break your understanding and probably your final grade? We're going to break down what it does, the big trade-offs you have to know, and how we can even tell if it's successful. Seriously, think of this as your master key for the topic.
First up, let's talk about the toolkit. Before you can get into the deep analysis, you have to know what generative AI can actually do. And believe me, the range is pretty impressive. Okay, so the big one you've probably seen everywhere is image and video generation. It's wild. You can create these incredibly realistic visuals just from a simple text description. You type an astronaut riding a horse on the moon, and boom, the model can actually make it. This is a foundational use case you'll for sure see mentioned.
But it's not just about pretty pictures. Gen AI is an absolute beast when it comes to language. It's the engine behind those super smart chatbots we're all starting to talk to. And it can translate between languages almost instantly, which is just incredible for breaking down communication barriers.
And you've definitely seen this in action when you're shopping online. It's totally changing the game. Gen AI can look at what you click on and what you like to offer these really specific, personalized product recommendations. It makes the whole experience feel like it was made just for you. And for the tech folks out there, this is a massive, massive productivity boost. It can literally write code for you from a simple sentence or take a super long, dense document and just shrink it down into the key points. It's a true multi-tool for anyone who works with information.
Okay, so knowing what it does, that's half the battle. But here's the thing you absolutely have to know for any exam. You need to understand the trade-offs. No technology is a magic bullet, and you really have to know both sides of the coin to make smart decisions about it.
Now this slide right here really gets to the heart of it. It lays out this core tension perfectly. On one hand, you've got these incredible upsides, right? Like it's super adaptable and responsive. But on the other side of the coin, you have some major challenges. Things like hallucinations, bias, nondeterminism, and this idea of interpretability. And trust me, these aren't just buzzwords. They are fundamental concepts you've got to grasp.
So let's really dig into those limitations, because I guarantee you this is where the tough exam questions are going to come from. If you want to show that you've truly mastered this stuff, you have to be able to explain these risks with confidence.
First up, hallucinations. This is a huge one. And the key thing to remember, and this is almost certainly an exam question, is that the AI isn't lying. It's just creating something that seems statistically likely based on all the data it was trained on, but it happens to be completely and totally wrong. It sounds super convincing, but it's pure nonsense, and that's a massive reliability problem you need to know about.
Next is nondeterminism. Now that sounds complicated, but all it really means is that you can give the model the exact same prompt twice and get two completely different answers. That unpredictability can be a huge headache for businesses, especially when you need things to be consistent and verifiable, like in customer service.
And finally, bias. This is critical. The saying, garbage in, garbage out, has never been more true. If the data used to train a model is full of historical biases, which, let's be honest, most human data is, then the model is going to learn and spit out those same biases. This can lead to some really skewed, prejudiced, and just plain unfair results. The problem starts with the data.
Okay, we know what it does, and we know the pitfalls. So the million-dollar question is, how do we know if it's actually working in the real world? This is where the scorecard comes in, how we actually measure its business value.
For any business, you've got to track real numbers. You can't just hope for the best. Are we getting things done faster and with fewer mistakes? Is that conversion rate, the percentage of people who click buy, actually going up? And then you look at the hard money metrics like average revenue per user, or ARPU, and customer lifetime value, or CLV, to see if it's really making a difference across the board.
And this is what it's all about. It's not about using cool tech just for the sake of it. It's about getting tangible results. For instance, putting in a Gen AI recommendation engine could lead to a 15% jump in conversion rate. That's a real, measurable impact that proves the tech is worth it.
All right, we have covered a ton of ground. So let's bring it all home with a final review. Think of this as your ultimate, last-minute checklist before you walk into that exam room.
Okay, here are the 3 pillars. If you nail these, you are golden. 1, be able to recognize all the different use cases we talked about, from making images to summarizing text. 2, You have to clearly get the key advantages and the limitations, especially hallucinations, nondeterminism, and bias. And 3, know how to spot the metrics businesses use to measure value. You master these 3, and you're going to be in great shape.
So, we've covered the essentials for your exam. But the real test, right? That comes after. Understanding all this is step 1. The next, and way more exciting step, is figuring out what you can create with this powerful, complex, and honestly world-changing technology. So the question I'll leave you with is this. Now that you know the rules of the game, how are you going to build with it?